Boy, that intro was lit. Get it because of the candles?
You suck. You suck.
Should you buy a 2015 MacBook Pro in 2019? Let's discuss. Don't forget to check out the links down below in the description. One of them is a way for you to see what I do on like Twitter and Instagram, and the other one is so my cat and dog eat, and you know, you guys aren't buying through it and they're looking a little skinny. Just joking, my cat is super fat. All right, so should you use a 2015 MacBook Pro in 2019? Let's discuss. 2015 MacBook Pro is the MacBook Pro that everybody bought when they released the new Thunderbolt 3 MacBook Pros 2016, 2017, 2018. They released all those MacBook Pros and everyone flocked to the 2015 due to the port selection and the real power that you actually don't really lose. It's almost equally as powerful on the CPU side when you compare it to like a 2016 or 2017. In some cases, it's a slightly less powerful depending on which CPU you get. If you get the 4770 HQ, it's less powerful. If you get the 4870 HQ, it's equally as powerful and sometimes more powerful in some cases. But we're not really talking about how powerful it is because it's the same laptop as a 2013 and 2014. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So why should you consider buying this? Well, obviously it's a great design. It's got a timeless design. It's got a great screen still. I personally hope Apple never moves to 4K because I don't really care, and I'd rather have a little extra battery life because the screen on the MacBook Pro is still plenty powerful and looks plenty good. The CPU is obviously still super powerful. It's a 4770 HQ. Interestingly enough, it's actually less powerful than my girlfriend's 2014 MacBook Pro with the 4870 HQ, but we'll get into that later. The CPU is still powerful. I got the base model mid-2015, so it is the 4770 HQ without a dedicated graphics card, 16 gigs of RAM, and 500 gigabytes of storage. I actually traded my old desktop for it, and I'm just going to sell this because this is easier to sell than a desktop computer in my opinion, and I always like playing with MacBook Pros. But I always wanted to play with this because I've never had a chance to touch that Force trackpad and play on it for like a few days before I was able to like review it or sell it. So the screen is great, keyboard's great, trackpad Force Touch. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it feels fine. I have no problems with it, just not a huge fan of it. And everything else is fine, ports, all that stuff. Average cooling. It's a MacBook Pro, runs warm. It's a MacBook Pro. I mean, it's nothing that you're gonna be super blown away by. You know what you're getting when you buy a MacBook Pro, especially 2015, 2014, 2013, because they're almost all the same. Which brings me into that point. This mid-2015 MacBook Pro has an i7 4770 HQ, 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gigabytes of storage. This MacBook Pro is less powerful than my girlfriend's 2014 15-inch MacBook Pro with a 4870 HQ. On Geekbench, it's around 7% slower. I know it's Geekbench, but it is a more powerful CPU. You can tell 4870 is greater than 4770. It's got a higher clock and everything. So why are people buying the 2015? Well, I think a lot of people are expecting this computer to have support from Apple for longer. A lot of people were purchasing it new, and I said, don't do that in the video. Everyone got mad at me, and I still think you shouldn't have done that because there were way better computers, the 2013 and 2014 MacBook Pro that are the exact same, that you could have bought for like a third of the price, but I'm an idiot, right? So what do you think about this MacBook Pro? You probably think, this will get support for longer. It's 2015. It's 2 years newer than the 2013, a year newer than 2014. It's only 4 years old. Apple sold it all the way up until mid-2018 last year until they released the 2018 MacBook Pros. So a lot of people would consider this MacBook Pro as future-proof. It's going to get support for longer. It's powerful. It works fine. It works well. It's able to edit 4K video on Final Cut Pro. I downloaded the trial and it worked really well. Obviously, on Premiere Pro, it choked up a little bit, but it was still able to do it. Although, just keep in mind when purchasing this computer that on Premiere Pro, you might have to sometimes create proxy files. Although, for the most part, it was able to handle my GH5's 4K at 10-bit. But just remember, I had to do some proxy files and create some proxy files to actually edit the video sometimes. But this computer is still really good. I have enjoyed using it. It's a fun computer to use. I love using MacBook Pros. But the experience with this computer is really interesting to me because I've had a 2013 MacBook Pro, 2014 MacBook Pro that my girlfriend, or my fiance, not my girlfriend, whoops, she's going to get mad at me for that one. She's using a 2014 15-inch MacBook Pro, and it's weird. Like, I'm torn on the 2015. In one hand, it's a great laptop. If you get the dedicated graphics, I would say that one will probably get support for longer. But how can Apple say that the AMD dedicated graphics MacBook Pro will get support longer than the MacBook Pro that they sold after that one in mid-2015? the ones without dedicated graphics. I'm slightly confused by that because when looking at the 2015 MacBook Pro that I purchased, it's the base model mid-2015 15-inch, 500 gigabytes of SSD storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and an i7-4770HQ. This computer is the same exact computer as the 2014 MacBook Pro on the inside. The 2014 MacBook Pro that my girlfriend has an 4780HQ, no dedicated graphics card, 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gigabytes of storage. They're the same computer, but one of them was $200 more. The MacBook Pro 2015 was more expensive than my fiance's 2014 MacBook Pro. So you need to ask yourself a question. Is it better to buy the 2015 because it should have support for longer? There's no reason it will. There's nothing internally that's different on these computers. The only thing is the Force Touch trackpad, and that would be the only reason I could see Apple saying, oh, we can't support the 2014s or 2013s because they don't have the Force Touch trackpad. I don't understand. All those computers, the late 2013s, let me phrase that correctly, the late 2013s are running 4th gen i7s. The 2014s are running 4th gen i7s. The 2015s are running 4th gen i7s. There's no difference in those processors across the board. It's the same computer. So why would the 2015s get support longer than the 2014s that are running the same chips? Just something to keep in mind if you think the 2015 is going to get support for longer. So should you buy the 2015? This is a tough question to answer. I am honestly going to lean towards kind of no, but not because it's a bad computer, but because the 2014s and the 2013s, the late 2013s, are running the same processor, and those historically are $200 to $300 cheaper, especially if you look on Swappa, eBay, Facebook, OfferUp, Letgo. Everywhere I look to buy stuff, it's always a few $100s cheaper to buy a 2013 compared to a 2015. So just keep that in mind when you're buying these computers because yeah, they're good computers, but you can get a very equally powerful, if not more powerful, 2014 MacBook Pro with an i7-4870HQ for literally $100 to $200 cheaper, and you're getting essentially the same computer. Still has the great looking screen, good keyboard, good trackpad. It's got all the ports. It's a great computer. The 2015. I can't say don't buy it because I don't know how Apple could say that they're supporting the 2015 longer than the 2014, especially when the internals are the same, except for the ones that have the dedicated graphics card. But then it's like, oh, we're not supporting the ones with dedicated graphics card, but we are supporting the ones without dedicated. I don't understand how they would spin that because the 2013 to 2014s are running NVIDIA-based GT 750Ms. Interesting questions. So should you buy it? I think so. If you get it for the right price. I think it's a good computer to buy, but just know the 2014s and 2013s are equally as powerful, although the 2014s and 2013s do have an issue sometimes with the GPU, the failure. I personally have never ever seen one or ever handled one. I've played with a lot of them. I buy them and sell them all the time, and I've never had one with that problem. The 2011s, on the other hand, I've had a bunch of those with that same problem. So I just keep that in mind. You know that there is that failure sometimes where the power delivery to the chip is too much and it breaks the chip and yada, yada, yada. So just keep that in mind. 2015 MacBook Pro, good purchase in 2019 still, especially considering you get all the ports. These are way cheaper than like the 2016 or 2017 MacBook Pros. And on the CPU side, they're still very, very equivalent, if not better in some cases. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, comment, share, and I don't know, never watch a video other than this one or any other video I post ever again if you really want to support the channel. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.